we also believe that there is no magic mantra to everything. There is no way that a person can say, focus on what customers are saying, implement the 5 things and you'll do everything right.
Welcome to Shopify Masters, your companion for starting and building a business. The podcast brought to you by Shopify. I'm Shwang Essershan, and today's episode features Sujata and Tanya Biswas, the sisters and founders of Suta, a sari and apparel maker based out of Mumbai focused on sustainability and fair wages for artisans. In the conversation with Sujata and Tanya, they share why it was so important for them to leave corporate jobs behind and start their own company, how they scaled from 2 fabric weavers to now supporting the livelihood of over 14,000. and what they look for when they expand their team. Before our show, I wanted to chat about Shopify Ping. It's a free live chat app for Android and iOS devices. Did you know that shoppers who use live chats are almost 3 times more likely to complete their purchase? With Shopify Ping, you can share products, exclusive discount codes, and help customers make purchases instantly. For more information, visit shopify.com/chat. Now, let's virtually visit Mumbai. In the streets of Mumbai, there's a beautiful mix of individuals wearing t-shirts and jeans, along with others who are wearing traditional saris. For sisters Sujata and Tanya, they wanted to thread the two worlds together by bringing modern designs into traditional saris and weaved fabrics. So after a fateful trip to West Bengal, visiting artisans' villages and seeing how they make these fabrics, Suta was born. And Suta just so happens to be a combination of the sisters' names while also meaning the word thread.
It was literally like magical when we figured that Su and Ta can mean Suta, and Suta means thread. So we were very happy that we can work with something we really wanted, like to make a social impact. We were super elated that the name also means Suta, which is thread, and also we can work on the product which we really like, which is saris.
So we quit our corporate jobs when we realized that, we should be heading this side and not that. So in 2016, we started Suta.
And I think for a lot of people, when they do have a corporate job, it is very scary and it takes a lot of time for them to actually be emotionally ready. How did you guys make the decision and what it took for you to actually quit?
We felt that what we were doing, we couldn't see the impact what we're having on people, because it was like, I used to be in the steel industry. Tanya was in strategy in IBM. So we knew with steel is making buildings, people are working, so I know who all is getting impacted. But there are certain classes who we don't know what they do, whether they work, they get the right amount of wage when they work. So we really wanted to do something for them. So when we started Suta, we figured that this is a company through which we can actually touch lives in the villages where the crafts are dying. Probably the art form is not as appreciated. These guys quit their jobs and do some work in garage, or they would be working as drivers.
It is not organized as such, and they were middlemen, and they used to not get the wages on time or a proper wage also. So when we started working with them, we knew that this is it, and I can see happiness directly in front of me, and I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, but then as you said, it was kind of scary because when we started, we put in our savings. Suta is still bootstrapped. We haven't taken investor money in, and we wouldn't like to. So far, that's the status. But it was scary because nobody in our family has done business, and our parents were really scared that, we have studied so much, and corporate is it has more cushion.
It doesn't work out, then there's another company I can join. So that was always the safety net is always there. Then in end of the month, I will be getting a good salary. So those were all the turmoils that we had to go through and finally take a call.
Was it hard to convince your parents? Because it's not just one of their child going off and quitting their job, it's both.
Yeah.
It was. Our parents asked, so when the day when we told them, I think we're going to start something and, we are going to put our papers. So they asked, how long are you going to do this? So it was, we had to tell them that, this is the plan, if this flies, we fly with it and we are not going to come back, mostly because we are really convinced that we will be doing this. So initially convincing them was a little problematic, but slowly they saw little successes. The revenue started coming in and
now they are a major part of the business, and my father handles operations in the villages and my mother is the backbone too. So
it's amazing how they have become a part of the Suta business as well, which is very interesting.
So from skeptical parents to almost like a family business now.
Yes, and also not only our parents but our in-laws are also very supportive to this
idea. My mother-in-law told me that even if your parents say no, just don't worry, take a call and I am with you. Even if nothing happens, I am there, so just do whatever you feel like doing. So it was interesting.
Amazing. I know that you guys started in 2016, but when did the idea first come to you and how long did the planning, saving took before you launched?
If you ask me how long has it been, it's been since childhood actually, because we always said that we wanted to make something of our own and sell it.
We used to say that we will make bags out of handkerchiefs and make dolls or something and we'll sell.
So that was a game we used to play all the time. And entrepreneurship is something which was always in us, even though we didn't know if we are going to take that path. Sujata did
a company I had started called Adogic, which was on computers, the cyber cafe on which an ad platform. So even before, we had that entrepreneurial gene in us, but we just didn't know when or whether we should both do something together. But when we both came together after her 2013, when she came to Bombay after her college, then for a year we both were discussing, what should we start with. In 2014, we actually started working on Suta. But it was very, very extremely small scale. And that time we were not working on the product we are working on now. It was on dresses. So we started very small with few dresses and we got a lot of inquiries on the dresses. And then we thought that probably, we should take it ahead.
Initially we were just on Facebook and we used to start selling. And
on social media platform. We were just on Facebook. We had a page and we used to sell through that and taking money on our bank accounts. And 2016, we didn't even have a website on 2016. 2016 is when we started selling. We had a tiny office, like a garage, very, very small.
Oh, wow.
And we had all the inventory there. People used to come over to buy things from us because by then our the word of mouth had happened and people would know us through our Facebook page. Customers came over, gave us feedback and inputs, and from 2016 onwards, and then we started our website in 2017 or 2016 end. Is when we had a website.
Because I think a lot of people don't know that in India, businesses actually do start very social. There's people selling through WhatsApp groups. There's people, like you mentioned, through Facebook, what have you. So maybe describe a little bit about just the fashion scene and also the entrepreneur scene, and how do people usually look into those industries and how do they usually want to crack in?
In India, actually, since e-commerce started, and it became easy for people to start their own business, and through WhatsApp, through Facebook, the reachability increased. So a lot of people from their own houses, because it's easier to manage your own family and manage time in your life, so people started selling things, mostly procuring things and selling. So the scenario changed drastically from then on.
It is now very acceptable. It's not a taboo now. Initially they would say it's a business thing, you just can't leave everything and start this. Probably if you have some spare time, you might be doing it just for killing your time or just doing it in a very small scale. But now slowly I see so many brands, and when we started even then, so many people were doing this that it was not, we were not scared at all. We just knew that if it grows, if there is a demand in the market, we will take it ahead and make it big. But then social media helps us because we can stay small and also reach a lot of people without investing a lot of money. So that way it's such a boon. I would say that we reach so many people without even spending a lot of money in.
It also seems like a great way to test the idea, because you mentioned, there's almost a 2-year period where I'm assuming you guys are both still working full time, and then you can, test out the idea, work with the people who are weaving, and see if there's a market interest for it.
Exactly. So if one side is taken care of, I don't have to worry about how my product is going to reach the people who are going to buy. At least that part is taken care of. I can at least start working on the supply chain. I can work on probably procuring, or I can probably work on figuring out what kind of weaving I would want on my products or design. So we both could focus on that without thinking, okay, who is the customer and have to find it. Because initially what used to happen is brick and mortar would have just one store and would wait for people to come and see
and
my
also
product.
You invest a lot in the brick and mortar stores. Here the investment is lesser, and also you can test the waters. If it's working or not, people liking what you're making, and then you can invest more in the same idea.
So tell me about meeting the first artisan or the first weaver. How did that journey begin?
Okay, so I'll just go back a little by starting saying 2014 is when we started with dresses. We used to get dresses fabric from Bombay in one of the wholesale places, and me and Tanya were not at all satisfied, and we kept saying that our grandmoms used to wear these beautiful soft saris. I would want that fabric, and that we kept telling our father that where is that fabric, why can't we find it in the market, it's so difficult to find it. And then our father said one vacation when we were in our hometown, which is in Calcutta, West Bengal. So we were with our father and we were discussing, ask your staff members that if they know somebody who weave. So in a week's time he came back saying, oh, I have made a plan, let's go to a weaver's place, because it was 4.5, 5 hours away from where we stayed. So we took a train, and we thought, even if they don't agree, probably I'll just buy whatever they have. So we went there and we found they have these huts, tiny houses made of mud, and a team of 4 or 5 weavers sit together and weave. We went to the houses, they're so warm. They said,
and we reached it in a very odd hour, and they were so welcoming.
They just offered us food. They don't even know us. They just offered us food. They asked me, you tell me anything, we can start doing it. But they were skeptical, thinking, there are girls, they might not continue working. And they said,
it might be just a small project, they might just vanish tomorrow.
So they asked, if you want us to make 40 saris of your design, if you say. I said, I will pay you in advance, and you start. And we started working with 2 weavers, and we said, whatever you make, we will take, even if it's not as per what we have thought. And because we are not from design background, and we didn't know whether what we are saying they understand, or what we are thinking in our mind, it's going to come out like that. So we didn't know. So we told them, so just make this color in warp and this in weft, and probably small motifs. So we just gave them some design, and we came back home, and then the work started from there. From the family of 2, now it's almost 1,400 weavers.
And also we started engaging the entire family, and not just the weavers in the house. We asked our daughters or mothers or the brothers who are not skilled as much to make tassels for us, to put the tags for us. So the entire
sutas tags are usually put by the wives of the weavers, and the tassels are put by the sisters and the mothers who probably could do the washing of the sari. All our saris are pre-washed. So we then engage the entire family together. So there's like a community feeling now. So the entire household is working for Suta. So that way it works very well for us. Yeah.
Just in the time since we recorded this episode, Suta's production has grown 10 times, from supporting 1,400 weavers to now supporting over 14,000. Though the fast-paced growth might be intimidating, it also motivates the sisters to work even harder.
It is scary sometimes because, it's not that I'm always in my highs and thinking I'll do this and that. Sometimes we also go through the lows of life and I feel, oh God, what am I doing? It's so much pressure sometimes. What if it doesn't sell the new collection? It's so much pressure. And this is one thing which keeps us so pumped and, motivated that so many people who look up to us, we work on probably 10 or 15 collections at one time, thinking if this doesn't do well, we have something else like the backup. And we keep designing, we keep visiting places and getting ideas and getting inspired, so that we make sure we can sustain this family.
We always think that what if it fails? We don't think that. We think that we'll just make it work because we have chosen this way. So we just somehow just make it work because there's so many people dependent on us, and we're like a family and we can't just fail.
Yeah, even the team is very beautiful. Like the team which we have in Bombay and Bangalore, Chennai, the team is amazing. We really, really are lucky that we have such a beautiful team with us.
And you mentioned both of you don't have design backgrounds. Was it intimidating to start being creative in that way, and also making sure what you envisioned actually turns into real life?
So not really. It was not intimidating design-wise, because what we always thought that if we make something, if we like something, I know there are like-minded people in the world who will like similar things. And we are creative people, both of us. I love painting. She
even I paint.
Loves writing a lot.
Yeah.
She also paints. So we thought that we'll create something which we have imagined in our minds, which we also wanted to wear in a certain point of time when we were in the corporate world. So we started making them, and we are mostly make things which is nature inspired. And when it comes live in a form of a sari, it's amazing to see.
Yeah, but also if you see our designs, we don't follow a particular trend. So let's say if a kind of fabric is getting celebrated now, it's organza, which is getting celebrated a lot. We wouldn't just jump into that just because it is getting celebrated elsewhere. If let's say we have just come back from a trip from Thailand, we are working on probably something like underwater bodies, we would like to paint on our saris, things like that. We don't always follow trends and not get pressurized by what is going on.
Other brands are doing, let's do it, we have to launch. We don't do these things.
We don't do these things, yeah, we rather stay content and rather stick to the core values what we started with. If we wanted to stay small, beautiful, we rather be like that, and rather do not get pressurized by this constant competition of following the trend, or constant competition of scaling up everything.
And I feel your designs are very modern, yet they stay classic. It feels like there's a good balance that you have achieved. And also it feels very distinct as well.
Thank you so much. So we always wanted the same, whatever you're saying, we wanted it to replicate that way.
I'm glad
this is what we had in mind. So we also wanted to celebrate all the art and crafts that is there in each corners of India, because it's vast. And some art forms are really expensive because it takes a lot of time. So we wanted to keep it simple so that it doesn't pinch people's pockets.
What people make now, if we try to do same thing for us, the saris will be very, very expensive. So we try to minimalize the design. We try to make it very minimal, classic, and so that it reaches people, so that you can celebrate that kind of art form or that craft, but not spending too much money, which usually is very, very expensive or difficult to afford. So that's what has been always the idea in our minds when we start any project work with any kind of a village or a village group.
And also we want the product to sell a lot, so that the weavers get constant work, and we also keep creating different forms.
And in a typical year, how many new designs do get launched typically?
At least 24 to 30 a year.
Collections, yeah.
And each collection has 7 saris and 7 blouses. So 14 products multiplied by 30, yeah.
That's a lot. And are you two still designing all of the designs?
Not all. We have 2 designers on board, but most of the designs me and Tanya approve, or at least we also still design, because we really like doing that. I think it's very special to it's very interesting, and that's the reason we started, because we like designing.
The colors that we come up with is amazing. We come up with blue and brown together and random colors together, because it's amazing to do those things.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's like, you just have to do, paint this green, paint this black, and make, add red on it. And it's so interesting.
Since childhood, we always used to think think about all these things, but we never knew that we'll tell today and in a week's time it'll be me.
Yeah, like there's a collection called the In the Sky, and that is because we used to play this game, because let's say we see a cloud and we'd say, Tanya, what do you think that is? And you should be like, oh, I think this looks like that. So we just sketch it and say, see, it can mean this. And Tanya's like, oh, no, I meant it like if you see from this side, it'll mean this. Like, we used to play that game.
So there's a collection on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, all our dreams and fancies coming true.
Speaking of, now that you have 2 designers, what was the first position you guys actually hired, and how did your team grow in the employee department?
We keep talking about Jaya.
How we hire people.
Yeah,
also.
I think Jaya is our first employee, and we tell everybody that if somebody can become the CEO, Jaya is the one. We really see her become the CEO. She joined as a person to pack our products. As small a role as that, which was like a basic and most essential role, to just pack and ship. So she started with that. Then she took care of the accounts bit as well, because she was doing everything, and we just were 3 of us. And she would clean the office. Someday she would paint on the saris. So that's how she also joined. She used to do everything literally. And now she's managing the inventory of the company with another person. So that's how she's grown. Everybody in the team who has joined are mostly Suta fans, people who wear saris, or people who really like us. So it's very like-minded people who join up our brand. And that's what makes the brand more family-like, or rather than just, employee and employer
And
relationship.
also this one example of Raksha, who was an air hostess with Emirates.
Yeah.
And she is the operations head now.
Yeah.
So it's very diverse, and there are a lot of people who have joined us without even giving their CVs. It's because we like talking to them, and they said that we love your work and let's see how we can work together.
Yeah.
And they were on board, and mostly people are here for the whole lifetime.
Yeah.
So the team is really warm and like a family. And the designer who joined us, she sent a CV and portfolio. We didn't even see her portfolio. We loved the male body. So she came on board like that. We were not looking for a designer, but when we spoke to her, we really liked her a lot.
Yeah.
That's amazing. How many people in total?
Now it's 35.
35 just from like the business and operant. Wow. Does it feel crazy that within 4 years it's grown to this size?
Yeah, if you ask me then what you see Suta as, I wouldn't be saying that it would be so big. It just became big because we were not chasing numbers, probably because we were figuring out how to make everything very sturdy and robust, the systems, and it just grew. Like it's somehow we were not looking to just push ourselves to achieve a certain target. We didn't have a target in mind, but it's grown so beautifully. I'm so proud that it's reached this stage when we look at it and it looks like such a big business now.
And are sales still mostly on your Shopify website, which is more direct to consumer, or have you explored other kind of streams of like working with other businesses perhaps?
So we have 3 revenue channels. The primarily we sell it through Shopify. We didn't want it any other way, but 90% sales still comes from Shopify. We've just opened a store and in Bombay. It's our first store, and we did it because we kept getting customers walk-ins in the warehouse, and it was becoming too messy because we had an online order and customer would pull out something and they would say, no, I want it, and I would say, no, I can't give it to you because we have an order for that. So we had to open a store so that we keep the inventory and stock separate for offline and online.
But still the store is in a very quaint little lane where people would not just come directly.
There are no walk-ins. There are just probably people who just will search for us and message us that I'm going to come over to the store. They come in. And the third is very tiny, but we do keep our products in different stores, because different states, people want Suta products to be there.
And there's a lot of people who don't shop online yet.
Yeah.
To reach to them, we have placed our products in a couple of cities, 2-tier cities mostly, to see how the response is.
Very exciting. And I know that, on the surface, people see beautiful saris, but behind there's a lot of moving pieces. How was the process of setting up operations and making sure everything logistic-wise runs smoothly?
Sometimes I look at it and I find it's so beautiful because both of us are engineers, MBAs, and in MBA, whatever we have studied, everything just falls into line. So we didn't think about that we have to achieve just in time. We don't have to achieve Kaizen. So we knew the terms, but then we just didn't want to achieve it. It just automatically became that. And it's so good to experience all these terms now in real life. It's very nice, it's very interesting, and we are actually doing everything right now. It just feels right. Now I open any management book and I feel, I do this right, I do this exactly this way. So it took a lot of time. Initially, obviously, we just because it was a very small department, we added accounts department, then we added an in-house marketing department, then we added now we have an inventory team.
So
a very
for us,
strong
we
team.
always wanted to have a very happy place for working. So we wanted everything to fall into place properly. We didn't want to show ourselves as a big fancy brand outside. So we focused more on the insides, putting things into place properly.
So we always used to hire people who are multitaskers rather than hiring specialists. Now we have specialists, of course, but then we also do a lot of internal training and uplifting people in their own roles, like how I told about the first employee Jaya, who is now in inventory. So we also had many people like that. Now the head of operations, as I mentioned, Raksha, it was a role which she moved into after she served customer service. So she was in customer services, and now we have a team of 5 people in customer service, but Raksha moved to some other role. So there are a lot of role reversal, shifting to figure out what should we do, what should we not. There are a lot of outsourcing that we do also now. We are also planning to take it into in-house. It's like a continuously evolving process. It's not just like I know this has to be done and we do it. We change things every day, like tweak it slightly, see what works, what doesn't work. So it's a very beautiful
experiment.
Yeah, it's like an experiment. Yeah,
and ever changing.
Yeah, it is
ever changing. Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
I also wanted to talk about the fact that you both have MBAs. I feel like that's also very different from a typical entrepreneurial journey. Most people are like, don't do this, quit school, dive in head first. You guys have 2 years, to experiment, to save, plan. You guys also both went to business school. So it feels like it is a very well established, even personally, for your own foundations.
Probably it worked well. Even if we don't follow the bookish knowledge, but somehow it's there in the back of the mind, like a
also,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 checklist.
We think that it has helped us a lot immensely, and even now we are in touch with a couple of professors with whom we keep discussing our strategies or why we're doing things or analyze data together with them. So it helps us a lot.
Yeah, and we also believe that there is no magic mantra to everything. There is no way that a person can say, focus on what customers are saying, implement the 5 things and you'll do everything right. It doesn't work like that. And so we keep changing one thing at a time. Even small policy changes or even any small change can have such a big impact, and we keep doing that quite often. We also discuss these strategies with our mentors, our professors in the team, and it helps us a lot. We're talking to people, other entrepreneurs. We keep meeting once a month with other people so that we at least bounce off our ideas, at least see what they're doing. Is there a benchmark to do certain things in a certain way?
Operating in India has its own set of nuances. One major difference from the West is that consumers' desire for COD, or cash on delivery. An alarming 80% of customers still prefer to shop and order items online, but only provide payment when the item is delivered. This is an area that Sujata and Tanya also needed to tweak and learn from.
One very tiny thing, but me and Sujata used to always have a conflict with COD. So she never wanted COD to happen. She said, let's make it cashless. Let's make it easier. So we never had COD. And I insisted saying that even my friends who have studied from B schools or engineering, even they opt for COD. They don't go for online payment. If educated people also, sometimes are scared or I don't know what holds them back to make online payments, they do a COD. Imagine so many other people who are scared to put their card. They think that it'll be hacked probably. So how do we tap into them? And when we changed that small thing, our numbers increased a lot drastically, and that's one thing.
I would tell another example which acted. It was literally such a failure. The idea that we So we have a reverse shipping, reverse pickup arrangement with the courier partners, but they were not doing it properly. So we would request a pickup today and it will happen after 2 months. So the customers get frustrated. I get frustrated because I'm not getting the product back. I can't refund the money. So we decided, let them ship it, let the customer ship it to us, and we will pay them the money what they have spent on shipping. We changed the policy overnight. In 2 months' time, our sales dipped so bad. It was so bad. Just one small policy change. It was so tiny that
I think it's a industry standard has become such that all the biggies in the field are doing reverse pickup, and in a day, in half a day, they are picking it up.
It's so such a bad.
So they expect that every other online website should be doing the same, and that policy really hampered our sales.
Yeah, it backfired, and we changed it quickly. It became fine, but then imagine the amount of loss which happened. Yeah.
So we mentioned the 2 years of you guys working part-time on Suta. At what point, or have you saved X amount of capital? Have you felt like you hit a number of sales and then you felt like, okay, now is the time I'm comfortable to do it full time?
We didn't save a lot because we started putting in slowly. It never hurt us, and we saved quite a bit because we had a very good paying jobs. We never felt that it's a lot of money we are investing. We kept investing very little money, which was hardly anything. But what you asked, when we felt like quitting, is the day when we decided that both of us can take a very nominal salary. From day one, we started taking salary. A very little amount, which is 20,000 rupees, but then we started with a salary. Before that, we thought we cannot quit just like that.
And we realized that we cannot be dependent after a certain point in our lives. We can't be dependent on people. So when we realized we are drawing salaries, there's a good profit margin, then we quit.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you did have this kind of salary break-even point for you guys.
Yes, so that we can take salary and we can have the person who we have employed, we can pay them salary. So Jaya, we paid her, and then we took 3 of us would take salary, and that day we quit. So we decided we'll quit and we start.
Nice. Look at that, business school coming in handy.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice. I do want to talk about your marketing because I feel like I love the fact that you guys are in the photos, and then also it just looks like everyday women who are wearing your saris. How did you start kind of tackling this marketing side of everything?
We started with no marketing actually, and we were like that for the initial 2 years.
But our brand got built very beautifully automatically. When I came to the photo, we wanted to save money in models and photographers.
And
so
we didn't have connections with the models.
We didn't know anybody. So we thought, why go and approach somebody? Let me just stand in front of the camera. And she used to click the photo. She is a photographer. So she said, I'll click the photo, you stand. And we had no team, literally. Our father would fold the saris, my mom will make sure the ironing is happening right, she would pass it on, and we would just do it in the house or in, just go down the lane. We would not spend any money at all. We were so frugal in everything we used to do. And that's how we started. But then people started recognizing me, relating to me, because I would not look literally like a model. I'm not like a perfect figure, perfect hair. I'm not that. So people related to, I think it just automatically happened, beautifully happened on its own, that people thought, I can also look like this. Because she is not literally like too much makeup or, not standing perfectly. She's just standing.
Also, the backdrops were normal lanes and natural backgrounds, and we always use sunlight as a light, and we didn't use artificial light or anything. So people could relate to it.
And they started trusting us more. It just looks like home. It looks like everyday life. So that bit got taken care of automatically. And also the fact that we started posting their photos, the customer photos online, we always felt that we feel good if a brand recognizes me saying, oh, you're wearing this dress, thumbs up, you're looking good. So we always felt that it's good, and we started posting thinking that lady would feel nice if I posted and talk about how she's wearing it so beautifully.
And we're really excited when people used to send us pictures, and we used to reply to all the messages ourselves.
Yeah.
So
it beautifully just just kept becoming a community. Even now I meet a customer, they would just come up to me and say, "Hi Sue, I am part of the community." She would never say, "I'm a customer of Suta." She would always say, "I'm part of the Suta community," because they feel Suta is like a family and like a community or a cluster, and that's the beauty. It just became like that. We never spoke about it, but it became like on its own.
And we also tried changing the backdrop to a solid background as other websites do. We saw that people didn't like it anymore, so we thought that let's stick to what we used to do and not follow the industry standards.
To have like a white background, people just don't like it.
We changed the model too. That also people didn't like, so we went back to Sujata, and so we do what we did before, because people started relating to it and people started liking it,
and they remember it, and
that's how the marketing strategy initially has been. And of course the community thing also really worked in our favor, but now we spend money on Facebook and Instagram and Google ads.
We do. And we have a person who dedicates her entire time in replying to customers. We have a person who is a freelancer from Chennai. We just met her first time last month.
She's been with us.
She's been with us for 1.5 years. She writes our content and she writes it so beautifully. So if you see, we have a story for all the saris on the products. We write about why the sari is named so, or why the color is so and such. So it has worked beautiful because she relates to the brand so much. She understands our story and she writes it so well. So all these have worked well to create the brand.
And also people sometimes buy the sari because they related and love the story so much. So it's a beautiful thing that has built up what we both liked ourselves. People at staff started liking it. So marketing has been really amazing for us.
Did it feel weird because those are kind of your ideas and your stories, and you were kind of basically doing everything yourself, and then now you have someone who's been working with you over a year to write these stories? So what did it take to, kind of let go and give those tasks to other people?
I think it's always a struggle to let go of things. If you're doing things in a certain way, you would just want to do it, and you're not letting your territory be given to somebody else. We had that feeling initially, but then I think this is very tactical, and it's a very business call that it's always there in my head, that unless you give your work to somebody else, you will never be able to do the better or a different thing which you would want to. So we sit together, we decide, okay, this work we can actually give it to that person, like a specialist or somebody who's better at it. So we hire right, make sure that the person is capable enough, and we let go.
And otherwise, because we started packing also and shipping ourselves, we'll stick to that and never grow. So that is a rule, one of the rules we follow.
Yeah, there are certain rules which we, even if we don't like doing, we do it. So this is one of the rules that sometimes I feel that, no, I should only reply because my style of replying is something else, and she might not reply exactly how I want to reply. But we have figured that by training, that person can become a better version.
Much better version of yourself also.
Yeah. So that's how we just slowly let go of things, and we have actually...
And the girl who writes the stories, she's a poet. She's like a fairy tale.
She's amazing. Yeah, if you read our stories, literally some stories will give you goosebumps thinking, oh wow, you can think about a product like this. She's amazing. Yeah.
When you do interview people, do you ask them different kind of questions? I'm sure through your corporate journey, you've interviewed a lot for your jobs. So now that you're interviewing other people, what do you guys do? Anything different from the typical?
When I used to interview from my ex-company's side, I would never ask, I never gave importance to passion. I rather gave importance to the competence, their ex-work, the work experience they have done, the projects they have handled, but not really to the passion. Now I look mostly for passion. I think 80% marks I give to passion. If the person is passionate, I feel the person can learn and become better. I don't see marks now. I don't see how much you scored in your
I don't
college.
see the format of the CVs, and I myself focus so much of my time in my B school to just make a CV, because every letter has to make sense.
Yeah.
So now I don't look at that. If the font is wrong, the spelling is wrong, I just let it go. Because I know that that is not the most important thing. You have to see the person. And we always ask one person that, what do you want to do in future? Do you really want to do this?
Because we want the person to stick around.
And grow with us.
I don't want a topper of the school to come to me. Probably he would be really good in marketing, but I would rather have probably the 10th ranker who would rather stick to Suta for the longest of time till he wants to work at all. Like totally he would dedicate his life, just work with Suta through and through, and not just quit and move to another rosier or a better company. I would rather have a person who loves the Suta as a brand. So yeah, I want to make Suta as like one of the best working places.
That's one of our targets. We just want the entire team to be really, really happy and content. So we keep asking people, are you liking your role? Are you liking what you're doing?
Yeah.
What do you see yourself doing the next year? Do you want to do the same thing, or do you want to increase your workload, change your role?
Yeah, we have this discussion quite often so that the person doesn't get demotivated at all.
It's also very opposite of how any other large corporations run. Like you mentioned, they want someone specialized. Sometimes when you have a colleague who's like away for a week and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how they do this. But, you really develop people for versatility. And it seems like, people are well-rounded and they could do a bunch of different roles within Suta.
Yeah. It's really how Rupesh, one of the guy who started with he came surprising. Actually, he told me that day that how I joined. I felt I'll probably serve coffee in your team. Then from serving coffee, he just started slowly. He moved to packing because he did packing well. So he moved to packing. Now
one fine day he said that I like clicking pictures, Tanudi, and can you tell me how you do it? I also do from my phone. I said, then why don't you use your phone? Do it. And he clicks pictures. And now I have given my editing to him.
Yeah, he edits on Lightroom, and because we taught him how to edit on Lightroom, so he edits and he uploads on Shopify. He uploads everything on Shopify.
Can you imagine a guy who thought that he's going to serve coffee, and he's uploading on Shopify? And that's
all the tags right, all the naming right, everything is right. It goes to the right category. It is amazing how he does it.
So a little bit before we mentioned, 2 years you didn't really have marketing, and then you now have, Facebook, Instagram, all that kind of online ads. How did you kind of begin starting to invest back into marketing, and what were some of the first campaigns or tests you've done?
Long back. We started really small. We started spending 20,000 rupees a month.
When the marketing partner also said that we don't even work with this investment.
So he's saying it's so low that I don't even talk to people who tells me this, but he started because for some reason he just felt that the brand Suta will grow, and to where we have reached almost it's 20-30 times.
20-30 times.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you now spend your money on? What kind of tests do you want to run now? Is it mostly through social ads, or is it, because it's like a hard call, right? You don't know which channel.
What will work, and so now we spend more on Facebook, Instagram, but we spend a substantial amount also in SEO, so that the organic traffic grows. We spend there. We also do remarketing. We do retargeting through
and
different search videos.
So this is one aspect of it, but we also strongly work on the brand building, so that we don't rely only on the budgets that we spend and get customers. People should know us as a brand.
Through
otherwise
different
also.
mediums. Like we have our own podcast channel.
I have noticed, yes.
So that, and we go on a lot of, we get invited to a lot of colleges to talk to young students about entrepreneurship, about our journeys. Somewhere we went and taught about how Shopify works. So we do meet a lot of people through talks or even on panel discussions. We get calls like that, and we make sure we are present there so that people, even if we are not present only through ads, we are there in different ways. We are touching other people's life, even by at least sharing our own experience of what led where we all failed, where we all succeeded, so that other people can learn about it.
Despite the substantial growth, the sisters remain focused on the values and reasons for starting a business. Throughout their content, ways of operating the business, and also their lives, they opt for more sustainable approaches to ensure that the impact they have is a positive one.
I think not just selling is not always the thing what we want to talk about. We would rather share our stories. That way we'll touch more lives. I think that makes a more difference than just keep selling and
also
doing
on our
ads.
Instagram page, if you see, we talk a lot about sustainability and what we do in our personal lives to be, to increase sustainability in daily lives. So we keep doing other things apart from just marketing, as in marketing on Facebook and Instagram. We build the brand and make it as a community, as we said earlier.
Make sure the values are passed on to people. How we always carry our own bottle and small things like that, how we can impact the environment by probably using soap nut to wash your clothes. We make our own bioenzymes. And we have a story called Sustainability on our Instagram page, and a lot of other people have started making it. So it's so important, and not just talk about.
So what we want to do is that if people click on the ads and come to our page, they should see the brand as it is. They should know the values. They can understand the values through the website.
And so also through our blogs, which we have our blogs as well.
Yeah, on the website.
It seems like, whichever amount of social spend or SEO spend is kind of, keeping people to visit, but also you want to build the story behind Suta. Yeah. I also wanted to, talk about the sustainability side, because I think that it is very important, because you're leaving an impact not just for the families that you work with, but also the environment that we all share. So talk about the weaving and making process and how you guys kind of incorporate sustainability in all aspects of business and life.
Okay. One very, in the beginning when we started Suta, and we realized that we cannot avoid plastics, because due to rains, they always need to be packed from the factories in plastics and have to be shipped, because otherwise it gets soiled. So we didn't know what to do, how to avoid it. There's no other way. So we use recyclable things, but also it's increasing in number, right?
Yeah.
Where do I store them? What do I do with them? So we started shipping it back, even if it was a big cost on us.
Yeah, we could just easily dispose it, but we make sure that we pack them back and ship it back to the villages, the factory, where they reuse the material.
And we are very strict with people who don't open the plastics properly and they tear it. So they have to make sure they take time and cut it properly so it's usable again.
Yeah.
So we ship them back, and the same plastic is reused constantly.
Yeah, we make sure that happens. And also we're figuring out another way to make sure that the plastics which are actually waste now, we can't use it.
It's a torn.
Yeah, totally torn, and we have to throw it now. So we plan to use it as a design. It's a very new concept, but then we're probably making it designs on the sari using it. So that's
so exciting.
Yeah, so the prototype is on its way. We just be working on it. We are making embroidery using the plastics. So it becomes a part of the sari and the blouses.
Also, we don't take drastic steps to lure people. For example, there was this brand who came up with a liquid which will make the saris water resistant. So if something spills on your dress,
like the denims came, when you drop water, it just doesn't
so
stick.
it just slips off, so it won't absorb a stain. So that, which was very fancy, and it was really amazing if I just promote it that way. But later, when I took the sample and used it, I realized that it has a chemical which does not absorb in the soil.
Yeah.
It forms a layer. So if you flush it in the ocean or sea, then
the animals would die. So we strictly said no, that we are not going ahead with that chemical, because it's just fancy, but probably get us more revenue, but then unnecessarily kill animals.
Spoiling the nature.
Yeah.
And so we use methods which will consume less water and during the process. And now we are using the soap nuts, which is natural, to wash our saris. So a lot of things we incorporate and in our processes, so it makes sure that we are sustainable and we are not spoiling the nature. And sari in itself is such a garment that
Yeah, it is.
you
That
change your body size anytime.
you'll still fit in,
still
right?
wear it.
Sari will never be tight or loose, so it will just wrap around you, and so that itself is such a sustainable clothing. So it's
And
good.
also we encourage people that, if you don't want to wear it, you can cut it and use it as napkins, because the more you wash our saris, it becomes softer and it's very sturdy and really, really amazing and absorbs a lot of water if you wipe your face with it. So people have started wrapping their babies in that because it's really, really breathable. So we keep promoting all these ideas.
Nice. And I feel like people don't realize when you first land in Mumbai, there's such a good mix, people in t-shirts and jeans, but then there's also ladies in saris. So it's a good mix of like tradition and also just like modern day clothing. So,
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
In India, I think it's amazing that saris are coming back. A lot of people thought sari is very cumbersome because one is to wear a sari. It's not. So a lot of people can get daunted by the idea of just, like 6.5 meters of fabric. You don't know what to do. But even if you know how to wear a sari, people get scared what to match the blouse and what to wear underneath the sari, the skirts. So we made sure we make it like Suta has a one-stop shop for saris.
But abroad also, people have started wearing saris a lot, and we keep shipping there. Even if we don't do marketing outside, we still ship
A
to
lot.
all of the world.
Yeah.
Name the place, and we have shipped there.
amazing.
To Fiji Islands too, yeah.
Yeah.
How much would you say sales outside of India would make up a percentage of?
It's little, but then it's still 12-13% without marketing at all. Like literally we have done
We are
nothing.
now making our US website through Shopify.
Yes.
So that's the next big step that we are taking, and then
Yeah, it's amazing because we are glad that Shopify is there because it's such a sturdy platform. At least that way we don't have to be worried that, site is down, something is wrong. We're not worried about that. So
yeah, we don't even need a big team to maintain a Shopify platform. So that way our headache is gone.
Yeah.
And
so now the
we're-
US website we plan to do once it's launched, probably we'll run marketing campaigns and see if abroad is a good market for us.
Yeah, there's a lot of Indian families abroad, and then I feel like obviously they'll talk to their, cool hip cousins or relatives back home. So there's a lot of word of mouth happening, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask about pricing, because I feel like you guys have found a very good balance between making sure that weavers are paid adequately, and also it's at a price point where it's also still approachable, like you mentioned, for those who are young. So when you were first starting, was pricing like a hard thing to decide, or over time, how do you find that sweet spot where you could balance sustainability, also ethical payments, and as well as still approachable for people?
So payment, we were very strict from the beginning that we will never ever make not
the
pay or
payments.
delay the payments for them. Even delays makes them suffer so much because they have so much dependent on just that money. It is so little for us, for them it's everything. So we had promised this and our accounts team know it. The moment the weavers send their bills, not even 1 minute delay, we pay it right then. Even if we have to stop something else,
So we
salaries,
also
make
do
sure we pay them.
advance payment according to whatever the raw materials we're procuring. Everything is in place. Even before the check happens, we pay their dues and everything, so that they are really, really happy.
Even now, weavers
Because-
come in and say, I want to work with Suta. In the village, Suta's name is so big that they want to work with us because of the payment systems and because we pay more than they get paid anywhere else. So that way, we were always clear that we will never ever mess with their payments.
And pricing wise, we wanted the young crowd to start wearing saris.
Yeah.
And if I really priced higher and kept my margins higher, so then I won't be able to reach that crowd.
Yeah, that was in
And-
our head always, that if I were in college, would I be able to afford the sari? So it's how we started. So pricing was never a big thing in our heads. Even now there is the bestseller category. We hardly make any money there. So it's literally that. But we do sell it so much because people love it so much. The first collection that we had, the Made in Heaven Mull, which is super light and very, very breathable. That's one of our favorites
And we
people
actually
love it.
want more and more people to wear it and experience what kind of malmal fabric it is, so that the weavers get constant work. People also buy a lot, so we play in volumes
Yeah.
in that way. We're
Also, we
happy
have customers who have a suta section in their cupboard.
Yeah, that's so
So they
amazing
have
to see.
all the colors, like 25, 30 colors of that same sari. So it's amazing when they send us photos, and they're not just few, there are many customers like that. They have a suta corner. So it's nice. It makes me super happy.
Amazing. And I also want to close off just to ask about, being women entrepreneurs and also being married and having your own families and balancing everything. How do you find that balance? And what does it feel like to be female founders?
It doesn't feel different. I think
if I were a boy also, I would feel the same way. I'd be really
it's the
excited.
same excitement it would be there. But there are issues, of course, like
Yeah.
people trusting us that we would do what a man would have done. That the question is there, and that pinches us sometimes, thinking that people come in asking, "Who is your boss?" I'm like, "Who do you want to talk to?" They say, "No, sir, where is sir? Live with sir. Can't it be a madam?" So that
I
is
feel
still
like
there.
going back in, just putting a mustache and coming in front of them.
Yeah, they just expect a man to be sitting on the table. And sometimes this people would walk in and say, "Oh, you guys are very young to be sitting here." Sometimes you're like, okay, I don't know what to reply to that. This is weird. You're just little girls. You've done. If a man would have been sitting there, a boy or same age, they would never have probably asked that question,
The question would be different for
It's
sure.
very daunting. It's just weird that they ask hygiene issues, like questions like, "Have you done this? Oh, you know this? Who manages the
Yeah,
finance?"
sometimes
It's such a
it
weird
also-
question. Why would somebody ask me this? I think it comes from the fact that I'm from a certain gender, that these questions are asked sometimes. But I think we have grown past it because our work
Yeah.
talks about what we have achieved or what we have.
And there are a lot of women entrepreneurs and business leaders in the
Yeah,
country
which is
now.
in the country,
So, yeah. Also, being women and managing our family, Sujata has a 2-year-old boy.
Yeah.
So what we did was we moved our families together into one house.
So we live together.
My husband, Sujata, her husband, and our parents keep coming and going. Our in-laws are also in Mumbai, but we stay close together, and our office is 2 minutes walk from our house, so that helped us balance everything. And
Yeah, and we have a huge support system. It's amazing that we don't have to bother about so many things. You just call me somewhere, I can take a flight and go and not be bothered about the family, because there is a very good support system. Our in-laws are always there if we need their help. Our parents come over if we need them. So that way life is literally sorted, and we didn't have to
Yeah.
worry much about that aspect. So lucky
so we
that-
only worried about Suta, and we just kept running.
What's the secret to be able to work together, live together, and also you guys seem like very dynamic and complementary and still very good friends?
I think it's just that we when we lived apart, we knew that we had to come back, because we think
I think
alike.
our parents have brought us up in a certain way that the fact that we will never leave India, or that we will always live close by, that we always talk on phone at least and tell them what we are doing, so that we were always we never were away. We were separated for 8 years. She was studying, I was studying somewhere else. We worked
Hostels,
somewhere,
yeah.
and hostel life, but we came back together, and I think it's a very close knit family which we have. Our parents and the 4 of us, when we started, we were always together. And
I think
even if we fight, my mother made sure that she told us that you both just talk about it, whatever we fought about, discuss and find out whose fault it was. The person says sorry, then you go to the bed. Otherwise, don't sleep. That works. And
And we followed it to the T. Even if we, are angry with some decision or whatever at work, we make sure we just talk it out, sort it, and then go about doing our own work.
yeah, next
Because-
day we get up and we are just back to what we were, and we are just the same old when we started. It's the same thing. It's just as if nothing happened the previous night.
And also the main focus is Suta now, so everything goes backseat.
That's a good rule. Never end a day mad, and you always kind of close out the day and resolve it.
Yes, and next day you start afresh. So that's the mantra.
Nice. I'm so excited for the next steps. You guys entering a new market, launching new products. Yeah. Thank you so much for chatting with me today.
It was really amazing chatting with you. It was like reliving everything, and you were understanding everything. Your questions were exactly what we have done, what we haven't done.
Yeah.
So it was amazing chatting with you.
Very happy to talk to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Shopify Masters. My name is Shuang, and if you enjoyed Sujata and Tanya's business journey of starting and building Suta, please give us a review on your listening platform so the show can be discovered by others. Until next time on Shopify Masters.